Josh.
How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. Hey, congratulations for Sniper Rogue Mission.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's one of those guilty pleasure movies that we all love to watch now these days, right? Especially in this type of environment. But what initially attracted you to this project?
Well, I have been friends and colleagues with the director and writer Oliver Thompson for a long time. We worked together on an indie movie that he wrote and directed many, many years ago. And I am just the biggest fan of his and his producing partner, Bay. Anything they do, I want to be a part of because Oliver is such a brilliant filmmaker and such a hard worker and has such an eye and such vision that if he says I'm working on something, then I'm on board.
I was gonna say, because this is I want to say that this is under the genre that you don't usually venture into, the action films.
Yeah. For some reason, this face doesn't typically get the call for fight scenes and action, but it's been so fun to get to dip a toe in that world.
So what do you love about playing this character? This time around, being sort of like a computer expert hacker, like as if we don't notice that this is the type of characters you play.
Yeah. Well, I will say, compared to the last computer guy I was, this one's a little bit smarter, which is fun. On Silicon Valley, my computer guy was the dumbest of the computer guys, so this guy is a little bit of a step up in terms of intellect. But I just love how kind of irascible he is. He really does not suffer fools, and he does not have time for people that he does not deem to be as smart as he is. So I just love that he is so self-assured and so confident in his abilities, despite being, basically a basement dwelling, nerd.
It is amazing. It's because I know I don't want to like put you in that stereotype, but it kind of falls in that stereotype. Do you dislike this stereotype? Because your look of trying to get these type of roles.
I always say that I just lucked out that I happened to start working in TV and film at the time that everybody was thinking about and talking about tech, because I think if I had tried to be an actor a little bit earlier on in 80s, 90s, it might have been a lot tougher because there weren't so many roles for this guy. So I always think it was very fortunate. Is it nice to be able to do other things every now and then? Sure, but I'm never gonna look the tech nerd gift horse in the mouth.
Well, I don't know. It seems like you embrace the role, but I figured you could be that action star. They should have gave you something.
Well, who knows? Maybe in Sniper 10.
that is right. I do have to admit though, in the sense of like comedic deliverance, this character has a much more, I want to say he's a little bit more serious than other characters you played, but somehow your delivery still comes out funny. How do you do that?
I don't think it's intentional. I always tell a story about when I was in acting class many, many years ago, and we were doing, like cop show kind of scenes. And I was taking it as serious as possible. It's like burst in the room, like shout at people, like pull the gun, like do the whole thing. And I was like, yes, nailed it. And then like everybody in the class started laughing. And I was like, wait, no, what? Why is everyone laughing? And it's like, well, it's just me doing anything that you laugh at. Like I'm an embarrassing person. So whatever I do, it's gonna look laughable. So I think no matter how hard I try, people are just going to laugh at me, whether I like it or not. So I try to embrace it.
So are you a fan of sniper movies before you took on this role yourself?
Yeah, well, just in, I hadn't, I think a long time ago I'd seen the first one, and it was sort of rattling around in the back of my mind somewhere. But since starting to work with Oliver and Bay, I've gotten to spend more time with the series, and yeah, I've come to really enjoy all the films. And Chad and Ryan are so incredible, and Sayaka, and Dennis, like all this great cast of characters, and it's just been awesome to get to start working with them.
What do you think of the change of tone for these sniper movies? Because ever since the first one, the first one, is pretty serious and dramatic, and now with like this sniper rogue mission, it's a lot more different. It's like a buddy cop comedy movie in its own way.
Yeah, I mean, again, Oliver Thompson is a director who is going to make absolutely anything more interesting. He's never going to be a paint by numbers, just down the middle action movie guy, because he is so thoughtful about character and story, and has all this emotion. And yeah, so much of this kind of like offbeat comedy. There are so many great laughs in this movie. I mean, I think specifically just the Shabbat dinner scene where like you don't expect that in an action movie, but there's this great comedy that comes through because Oliver is just this very interesting, slightly strange writer director, and I just love his work, and yeah, I think it's way more interesting than just your run of the mill action movie.
So what is Oliver's directing style in this case that you love him so much?
I think he kind of melds, some indie filmmaking stylistic stuff with the action movie. Like all of the action sequences are great. If you've got popcorn popped, you're going to enjoy, all of the guns and all of the fights and all of that kind of stuff that like you expect from a movie like this. But you're also going to get some really cool and offbeat stuff, some incredible stuff with the camera. I feel like there's like Tarantino shots in there. There's some Wes Anderson looking stuff, and then just these kind of quiet conversations between people and these silences that you don't often expect, but that Oliver just has this vision of something a little different than what we might be used to.
So how do you choose your projects, Josh? When because I noticed that you have a lot of your filmography is pretty lengthy. I mean, do you just basically choose your projects according to who you get to work with, or do you choose it based on like storyline or characters? Or genres? How do you choose your projects?
Well, in this case, it's definitely about the people involved. Oliver and Bay are close friends and filmmakers who I just really admire, and if they're doing something, I'm excited to be a part of it. Just that's the case here. Other than that, it's I don't always have choice. Sometimes a job's a job, and you got to work. This is one where it's just exciting to get to work with people I admire.
So when do you get to do action films? I guess when it becomes animated or something, you get to do some action films.
What do you say again?
I'm saying, like, when do you get to do like action scenes? Is it hopefully it's just not in those animated television and films that you get to voice it?
Yeah. Look, I'm ready to run and jump and shoot guns. I hope I get the opportunity to do some of that in a Sniper 10.
I don't suppose you get to work out with Chad and Ryan on set and all those. I mean, those guys have like the soldier fit bodies.
What are you saying, Gig? What are you trying to say about my physique? You don't think I can hang with those guys?
You know what? Kind of think about it. you would be perfect in these sniper movies is because you're, how can you say, you would blend in with the crowd. Like no one would ever suspect you to be a sniper in any situation.
You know, these aren't feeling like compliments, Gig.
Oh, most excellent. Right. Anyways, could you tell us about your other upcoming projects? I understand that there's like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle animated movie coming out pretty soon.
Yes, it actually just dropped this past weekend, I think. So it's on Netflix, and I absolutely love it. I got to see it last week, and I think they did such a good job. I'm really excited about the movie. I've already been getting lots of texts and emails from friends who are saying their kids are psyched about it and have watched it multiple times. So I think it's a really, really really sweet movie. I think they do such a great job with the story, and then it's just beautiful. The animation is incredible. It's really funny. The action sequences are awesome. I'm really, really proud of it, and I hope people check it out.
Now, in the case for yourself, how do you balance, your projects between live acting and voice acting, and which side do you enjoy better?
Well, I'll take the cop-out answer, which is that I really love both, and having a balance of the two is the best because, being on camera, it's long days, it's makeup, it's hair, it's costumes, it's memorizing lines, it's a job. Animation is, especially these days, sometimes from home. It's in pajamas. It's no lines, no makeup, no wardrobe. So there's definitely something to be said for it. But yeah, during the pandemic, it was the best because so much live action stuff had shut down, and very few things were shooting, and I was able to record voiceover stuff from home and do it remotely, which was such a gift. So I'm so grateful to be able to do that stuff, and it's also just so much fun. I mean, you can be anyone, in a given day. You might go from being, say, a mutant turtle to I was a Star Wars alien from, where was I from? Nikto. So all kinds of cool things.
all the nice trivial things when you be part of these these type of big universes in its own way. But I'm just out of curiosity, wasn't Sniper Rogue Mission also filmed during the pandemic, or is that before?
So let's see, when did we shoot it? About a year ago, I think, right? I think October of last year. So yeah, I guess that was also pandemic, but I was able to do voiceover stuff like during full lockdown, like when really nothing was going on in the early days, April, May 2020. The one thing that was still going was animation. And yeah, it was really everything that I did, because my wife and I are writing partners, and we actually wrote an animated movie while we were doing voiceover work from home. So animation really got us through the at least the heavy part of the pandemic.
Can you talk about this animated movie, or is that under secrecy right now?
That's something that's pretty far out, so I won't say too much about it.
Well, let me wrap with one last question, because one of the biggest debates out of this Sniper movie involving with your character is over the soda. What is your soda preference?
Great question. I think so. I will just be full transparency. I am not an orange soda guy. I'm much more of a root beer guy, and I think I'm an IBC root beer guy. If I'm just being completely honest, I think that's the truth. Now, Intel Pete, obviously, Sunkist through and through, but
Well, there's our answer. Well, Josh, hey, appreciate carrying this conversation and rolling with the punches with me. I try to toss some fastballs, some curveballs, and everything, but can't wait to see you in Sniper 10. Welcome to this universe.
Thank you, Gig. It was a real pleasure. Thanks a lot.